G'day folks, Jaden Drought here with the Farm Trader magazine, and here we are in sunny Hawke's Bay, and we're at Kaweka Dairies, which is a 1,300 cow dairy farm, and they're doing lots of cool things. So first up, they've got a composting barn, they've got a large mixer wagon and a muck spreader, and that takes care of the feeding and obviously deals with the wood chip and the muck out of the barn. But they're also doing something pretty cool with lucerne and cut and carry operation. Today with me is Connor Hopkins, the Strautmann distributor here in New Zealand, and we're here to talk about the Magnon range specifically. So, g'day Connor, thanks for joining us today, mate. Yeah, good.
See it.
So just talk us through, you know, people will be familiar with the Strautmann range of loader wagons. You know, a lot of people will be familiar with the Giga Vitesse, but maybe not so much the Magnon. So maybe just talk about some of the cool features of that specifically.
Yep. So Strautmann has now got 4 Magnon series in the range, the Magnon 8 and the Magnon 10, which is a 35mm chop length, are the early models, and now they've just released the Magnon 11 and now the Magnon 9, which offers the same size machine but with a 22mm chop length. The Magnon 8s and 9s start at 36 cube and are up to 44, and then the Magnon 10 and Magnon 11 is 42 cube to 52 cube. Key factors for the Magnon range is wider pickup and the moving headboard. Those would be the key things of the Magnon, and which makes them like a pro-feed machine compared to the Giga. So most machines we bring in ring hitch. We are starting to find now guys are moving to K80 ball hitches, which this machine here is fitted with that because it has scales.
Just on the scales, you know, I can see we've got a load cell at the drawbar. Where are they? How many are on the machine, and where are they located?
Yeah, so there's one located in the hitch, so you have to have K80 to run scales, and then also on each hydraulic ram underneath the machine there is a load cell on each pin. Okay,
so 5 in total, plus we've got our monitor here, which is easy visible from the cab.
Yep. And cool. Strautmann are developing a new weighing system, so it'll be isobus compatible, and you can have better recording and storage of jobs.
Sweet. Steering options. This has got electric steering.
Yep. So this machine has SCS, which is Strautmann electronic steering. You can also get passive steering, which is just like hydraulic lock and then float behind you. And then also there's a force steering option, which is hydraulic force steering. Yeah.
Nice short PDO shaft as well, which is obviously allows a tighter turning circle, but also there's less flex in that shaft long term too, right?
Yeah, 100%. So they've got a bearing here in the middle with a short shaft, so this gives you the short front shaft, and then we've got the clutch behind here, which is usually quite heavy on long shafts.
And so again, nice slim drawbar, you know, and obviously part of the Magnon range is that bulkhead is now, you know, so the whole machine's moved forward essentially. So now if we move back to the CFS, I guess, you know, like you talked about earlier, wide pickup, the whole concept of this is to lay it as a carpet essentially, isn't it? So talk us through from crop roller all the way up to into the bin.
Yep, so the Magnons have a double crop roller, which are quite big drums as well. So this helps to keep weight down on the row as it's coming through and actually spread the lumps out a little bit as well. And then also we move to the flex load pickup, which is a Strautmann unique design. So they've moved away from steel tines. These tines are soft enough to flex side to side, but they're stiff enough still to pick a row up of any crop. This machine too is fitted with a Gen 2 flex load pickup, so it has no pickup bands. This is something we've been testing in New Zealand for a number of years now, and this has been the most proven design, which Strautmann is now guaranteeing you'll have no wrapping issues.
And so the way that they're designed and laid out and works in with the rotor, it's more of a wave concept, right? So that it's not all just jamming in the rotor at the same time. Is that how? Obviously the CFS thing, you know, continuous flow system, is the main thing around that is the roller, right? Like that's the powered roller there in the middle. How's the whole rotor driven? And then what does that powered roller there do in the middle to try and lay that out?
So the whole machine is PDO shaft and gear driven, and then the CFS rollers just chain driven off the side here, off the rotor, and then the pickup is actually hydraulically driven. Turns off when you're up, turning around your headlands. As soon as you drop your pickup down, turns the pickup on, and that is also, the speed is driven off your wheel speed. So if you're going really slow, slows the pickup down so it's not trying to wrap it under itself. And then also, if you're going really fast, then it speeds the pickup up as well.
And the whole concept with those tines too, though, is that it can get closer to the ground, eh? So you're not building up all that inertia with the coiled spring. So that's part of the a nice crop clean pickup,
100%.
right? Yeah.
And better contour on the ground as well. The tines can flex a bit and move around rocks and stuff like that.
So a key part of the 9 and 11 kind of, right, is the 22mm cut, right? Like, so talk us through about the knife bank in general, and then obviously the 22mm cut versus the 35.
Strautmann runs a double-sided knife system, and they have for many years. And lately they've changed to the exact cut knife system, which is a knife bank that's very maintenance-free. There's no greasing or anything on it, and also the automatic weighback feature. So if you hit any foreign objects or rocks or something, the knife can kick out on the fly, and then as soon as that foreign object's passed through the duct, the knife will pull itself back in, and you can carry on. You don't have to stop, drop knives out, pull them back in or anything like that.
And obviously double-sided, right? You've essentially got a whole nother knife set with you, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. So you can just flip them around, which is very easy to do. There's a tool on the side. So yeah.
And these lights can be twisted around, right, if you've got a problem at night and whatever, and happy days.
We're cleaning it out. So this machine's fitted with 800s on 26.5-inch rims. Most machines can come with 710s or 750s, and then you obviously 800s, and then you can also get a 30.5-inch rim, which is quite a big wheel. Just
in terms of the steering though, there's a sensitivity on that active electric, right? So just talk us through that.
Yeah, on the SES system from Strautmann, you can steer in forwards and reverse, and then also at different speeds, the machine will change its steering angle. So low speed, you get really sharp turning, and then obviously as you get up to higher speed, the turning circle becomes less. So it's not as aggressive on the road when you're making movements, and it can lock at full speed.
The hydraulic suspension's similar, right? Like you're in road mode, and that offers then an accumulator type functionality.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That works in conjunction with the lift rams at the drawbar rams, right? Yeah.
So while you're in the paddock loading, the suspension can be turned off or on, and then obviously when you're on the road and you want that dampening and cushioning, then you can it turns on automatically through the isobus.
Sweet. In terms of unloading, just talk us through loading for a start. So one thing we failed to mention at the start is it's fully isobus compatible. So in terms of functionality in the cab, that's all taken care of on the tractor monitor. But there are some cool features in terms of memory and So talk us through that.
So there's 3 modes on the machine. There's road mode, loading mode, and then unload mode. And the way the monitor's set up, each mode you go in is the exact same way you would do the job. So you've got road mode, turns your flashing lights on, turns your LED work lights off, lifts the drawbar, automatically turns the drawbar suspension on. If you had covers and stuff, it would fold them up. And then when you change into loading mode, covers down, beacon off. If you've been working at night, turns all your lights back on, and then as soon as you're ready to go, flick your PDO on, you drop your pickup, it automatically drops the drawbar to your loading angle height, and then as you pick your pickup up at the end of the row, turns the pickup off because it's hydraulically driven, and then lifts the drawbar for headland height. And then same process again for when you hit road mode, everything's automatic. The beauty of that is the operator can set every setting how he wants, if he wants it to be automatic or not. And then when you get to the pit, change from road to unloading, lifts the drawbar up. When you're ready to unload, you just hold the door open button for about 3 seconds and then let the button go, and from there, door opens up, floor kicks off, and then the grill will actually move forward and back twice and then back to its loading spot. And then there's also a rapid mode, so once you're about halfway through, you can chuck it on 2-speed, and that'll just help unload it a bit faster.
So 2-speed, but also twin drive back here too, right? So the floor, so full steel floor, all steel chains, and then obviously the twin drive,
which is all standard on the 10 and 11.
Perfect. The Magnon performed very well in what could be considered challenging conditions this morning. Overcast, short lucerne, heavy wet crop, and straight out of the front mower. If we now look at the top 5 reasons why you should consider the Magnon from Strautmann, for me it starts at the front with the CFS. The whole concept of the wagon is to lay it out like a carpet. That starts with the pickup tines. They're flexi, one bolt changes them, and they're in that wave motion. So all of that grass and lucerne example comes in a wave motion, so it's not all coming in one lump. It hits that powered roller. That shortens the gap between the pickup tines and the rotor. We've then also got that wave concept of the rotor, so it's not all hitting the knives at once. It also lays it nice and flat, so when it goes through the knives, it ends up with an even chop. The other beauty here is that there's a short distance between the rotor and actually getting it in the wagon, and that's one of the key concepts of the Magnon. That doesn't even, before we've mentioned the 22mm theory of cut length. So that's forager type cut length from a loader wagon. If we then move back slightly, we've got that moving bulkhead. So it doesn't fold for opening up maize, for example, but when you have it right back or right forward, for example, it does allow that chute to get into it. But what that does is it gives you an extra 5 cubic meters of capacity in the front of the wagon over the Giga, right? So moving bulkhead, you can either compact the crop or change the way that the crop flows into the wagon, compresses it, for example, or in the likes of today, you'd have it relatively straight up and down so that that crop's not packing on top of each other and just oozing out that moisture. If we then move to the scales, it's got scales on the K80 ball plus one on each ram on the steering axles, and that's fantastic in terms of you know, these guys are we need to feed 6 tonne of lucerne, for example. We go and pick up 6 tonne of lucerne, we take it back, we dump it, we load it in the mixer wagon. If we then move to steering, we've got 3 options. We've got passive, which is you hydraulically lock it out. We've then got hydraulic, which is force steering, and then we've got electric, which this wagon has. So both hydraulic and electric forces it to steer in reverse, and the electric, based on that potentiometer, also steers in reverse. It's also fantastic for getting in and out of gateways, but also if you can't quite make it out of the gateway, you also can steer in reverse, whereas if you lock it, you actually lose that angle and it becomes more like a trailer, which can be a little bit cumbersome. So that's a fantastic feature. If we then move back to the twin speed floor drive for unloading. So you've got the auto unloading function on the isobus functionality. You open the door, you start feeding it out into the bunker, or for example where we were today, and then you hit the rabbit button and the 2-speed kicks into gear. So not only do you get twin speed, but you also get twice the strength, so that's fantastic. Check out the upcoming review in the winter issue of the Farm Trader magazine. Comes out just before Mystery Creek Field Days, so you'll be able to grab a copy there. Also keep an eye out on the socials on what we're up to, and keep an eye out for this video on the YouTube channel and on the website.